What's up, guys? Today's Angry Marine rant is going to start off with a little bit of a story that we are all too familiar with, and it kind of gets a bit of a joking rap behind it, but there's a reason it's kind of a stereotype, because it's very true. So Johnny goes to boot camp, and Johnny is at boot camp, and he becomes, this skinny guy, and he gets slayed, and he's getting knife-handed by the drill instructors, and he comes out of boot camp all proud and motivated with this screaming high and tight, and he goes home, and he meets Kelly, and him and Kelly hit it off, and like 2 days later, they're married, and then they have a kid, and they're happy, and they live their life forever and ever and ever, or maybe it ends in divorce a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. Maybe it ends in financial bankruptcy. Maybe Kelly brought $50,000 worth of debt or $200,000 worth of student loans into the marriage. Maybe Kelly had terrible credit. Maybe Kelly just couldn't handle shopping without blowing every penny in the bank account and racking up the charge card. I don't know. Maybe Kelly was 12 years, 14 years, 18 years older. Nothing wrong with older women. I married one myself. But maybe she had all these kids and she was just looking for someone with TRICARE. And I know that's a stereotype, but they're out there and you know the ones. And as you grow in leadership, you see this with your young Marines. So the number one thing that you need to watch out for with finances, the thing that can derail you probably the fastest, and it's a double-edged sword, is marrying the wrong person or marrying for the wrong reasons. Yeah, I know. That's uncomfortable. That sucks. You're probably mad at me now. Half of you probably clicked off this and hit the little thumbs down button when you should be smashing the like button because I'm trying to help your ass. Look, if you marry someone who's going to drag you through the financial gutter, guess what's the number one cause of divorce? Oh, that's right. Financial issues. So if you marry someone who's got a ton of debt and a ton of issues and your life's not together yet, and the two of you join forces and she continues to do this or you continue to do this and you just drive yourselves farther into debt, you're probably going to get freaking divorced, right? Like, I'm sorry, there's no nice way to say this. That's the number one cause of divorce in the nation, right? And divorce is one of the number one causes of all these other terrible things, depression, anxiety, suicide, whatever. So like, this is a pretty terrible pyramid to start diving down into, right? You're like, oh man, that swimming pool looks great. Let's fucking see what happens. No, if you're getting married to someone, be smart about it. Now, I'm not saying don't marry for love. You've got to be in love. You've got to at least appreciate and enjoy the person you're around. But you need to have the hard conversation about finances, right? It's like having the conversation about kids before you're married. You should probably find out if your spouse wants to have kids or not. You should probably be on the same page. You should also probably find out if your spouse wants to be in debt for the rest of their life and just own a fancy car and have nothing to show for it and work till 80, or if they're willing to be a little frugal and not blow all their money on dumb stuff so that you can build wealth so when you get out of the military, you can spend time with your family. My wife is way more frugal than I am. I mean, it's incredible. I'm over here thinking I'm doing good and da-da-da, and she'll point something out, and I'm like, son of a bitch, you're right. And she's so much better. I mean, literally the 3 kids live on less than $1,000 a month, right? And they have money left over for Christmas presents and going and doing all this other stuff and whatever. And I could probably spend that on my own if I was left to my own devices on just eating out and food and whatever. I like to have a good time. So it is what it is. I've gotten very good at it. But if my wife was that way or liked to do the credit card and new shoes, we'd probably be fucked. It is what it is. And my wife had student loan debt when we got married and I helped her pay it off. And that was no big deal, right? We knew about that stuff. But she was independent and could handle herself, right? It wasn't like she was marrying me because she needed me. She was marrying me because she wanted to be around me. And she could totally take care of herself. She had a house, she had a job, she had a career. She'd been paying off her student loans. She was not crazy with money. She was solid. She was set up. So my advice to you is find somebody independent enough that they don't need you in their life. They want you in their life. They want you. They love you. They don't fucking need you. They could do without you because they figured it out on their own. That is a deciding factor. You need an independent spouse if you're in the military. Because they're going to be alone, right? And when they are, we've all heard the horror stories of the woman who runs off with someone or blows all your money or drains your house or your bank account, or you come back from deployment where you damn near died for 7 months and you're miserable and you don't have a penny left to show for it because you spent it all. Like, oh, thanks for being deployed and all this tax-free money for me to buy Starbucks. Like, no, no, no. Marry intelligently. I'm telling you guys, getting married is a huge financial decision. And as I already pointed out, bad finances in a marriage equals divorce. Divorce equals depression. Depression equals, like, it's not a good fucking cycle to get into. So have those conversations. Marry intelligently. I promise you, your spouse will love you. And you know what? If they get super freaking pissed that you bring this up, they're probably not the right person for you to marry. You're probably dodging a bullet. I get it. It feels good to be around them. And when Miss Kelly shows you things or does things that you're not supposed to do, like, got it. Check Raj. Totally understand. Have a little logic built into this process. Get rid of some of the emotion and make sure that your marriage is a good decision for the rest of your career, right? You don't want to be Joe Schmuckatelli with 7 wives and no freaking, all this child support and no money. You want to be fucking, I don't even remember the name I used at the beginning. John? Go John. So John and Kelly, who've been freaking together for 25 years and have a great life and no child support, no debt and tons of money, and they can send their kids to college and like everybody's happy. Like, that's who you want to be. That's so much less stressful. So wrap your head around it. Do that. Marry somebody intelligently. Logic, logic, logic. Emotion can be involved. I'm not telling you to pick a wife without being emotionally attached. But it shouldn't be the driving decision factor. It should be a part of the decision factor. But you need to make that decision with some logic. So that's the end of my rant. If you got something out of this, share it with a friend, smash the like button, hit the little bell for some notifications, and check out the last 2 Angry Marine Rants videos. They're awesome.